dating is collecting data.
Yes, exactly.
It is collecting data. I don't feel like a person should put so much pressure of being like, this is my person. Yeah. This is the one. Because honestly, once you really get to know them, you really don't know.
Yeah. You wouldn't collect any data if you're not doing any dating.
Yeah.
So you
have to do something. You have to do something, but I'm saying don't put so much pressure of like, oh, like he's it or she's it.
Yeah.
Like it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, it's okay to be like, I'm dating you. I'm dating you.
But I'm
looking at my options and I'm like, okay, I like this about this person. I like this about this person. And that's it. Yeah. I don't have to have sexual relations with either one of you. I don't have to do none of that. Now, if I choose to, that's my choice. But if you stick to one person, you're always going to feel like this is the person. You're always going to be like, oh yeah, this is the person because I'm sticking with this person.
Listen.
So are you stating that... Wait. Okay. Okay. So you're saying that collecting data meaning that you need to date multiple people at the same time?
You can.
Hey y'all, we're back with another episode of Growing Painz Podcast where we talk about business, music, and the life of a young adult. And today we are doing our first roundtable episode.
Woo! Yes, sir! Yes, sir.
So everybody's going to go around and say their names and ages. I'm Jada and I'm 25.
I'm Tre'Vion and I'm 20.
I'm Yanni and I'm 20.
Keon and I'm 23. I'm G-Said and 21.
I'm Jaden and I'm 22.
Avion, 22.
Jariah and I'm 24.
Yeah. And so for today's topics, we're basically going to be talking about life and business, but we're going to start off with our Growing Painz cards. We have some life questions on these. I'm going to have Jaden pick a card, read it out loud, and then everybody's going to go around, answer the question, and then we'll get into the conversation. All right.
Let's get it.
Let's go. You finna cook.
Dang, then I gotta
Question: how have issues that you deal with internally affected you in your personal life?
Dang. That's how we
start.
start.
You want to start it off, or Avi, you want to start it off and you go this way?
You start off.
Or if anybody has anything, y'all could just say.
Yeah, and it'll just go.
And keep that just in case we gotta revisit it.
So how have issues that you deal with internally affected you in your personal life?
Okay, so I would say an issue that I've dealt with internally would be in a way of trusting people, and with me working with people and networking, I can't do everything on my own, even though I would like to, and me not being able to open up and trust people to give them a chance because I've been let down so many times. It kind of hurt me on the back end of me falling short because I'm only one man.
I can relate to it.
That's real.
Yeah.
I would believe mine is more so stress and feeling overwhelmed. There's days when I'm like, I feel great, but then like inside I'm probably like super stressed out, and then it also shows into my work. It shows into like me mentally can't sleep. I'm always thinking about work. I'm always thinking about, okay, what do I need to do next? How do I make this money? And then that just affects me personally. I start like distancing myself from people, and then I don't talk to my parents. I just be like in my mode, and they'll be like, you're stressed, and I'll be like, am I? And I'll have to be like, I am. I have to be like, do a lot of internal work and be like, I am stressed.
Dang. So I would say for me, it's probably I put a lot of pressure on myself. So I know I want some very high results, some very strong results, because I want to be able to do things for my family that probably have not been done before. But because of that, it's like I'm not a perfectionist, but sometimes it makes it so I have to be perfect if I want this result. And sometimes that also makes me a little scatterbrained because I feel like there's so much I need to do because there's so many things that I want to get. And because of that, sometimes it kind of bogs me down a little bit because there's so much that I need to do and there's so much pressure on my back. But if I don't do it, who is going to do it? So some things I deal with.
That's crazy because I feel like I do all of that.
Yeah.
I'm like everybody. Okay, but I'll say something that I had to deal with, that I dealt with internally was I went through this season of like self-sabotage. And during that season, I felt like, okay, I'm going through all of this. Then I started having that fear of success. Like, if I'm dealing with all of this, then I can't be successful because I'm going to mess it up and then have to start all over again. And so having that season, it started affecting the way I showed up in my work. because it's like who you are internally is gonna show up on the outside, you know. And so my fear of success I started lacking and not putting my all into what I was doing. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So pretty much everything y'all said. And that, I would say the stemming factor or the main thing is really like communication. So with communication, I'm always on myself like, oh, I need to get better. I need to get my stuff together. I'm literally always telling myself like, I need to get my stuff together. And it's like, bro, just appreciate where you are. Like, give yourself some grace. So it'll lead to not communicating with people, as you mentioned, being overwhelmed and like overstimulated. And then now like I'm being short with people. I don't want to talk. I'll isolate myself. And the main thing with communication that I feel like it really stemmed from is like being like, oh, I don't want to bother somebody with, you know, everything I got going on. So I just keep it in and just, you know, deal with it on my own, take it on the chin.
Okay.
Yeah, same thing. Everybody. I would say the main thing that question's like thought of, I have really high expectations for myself, or people would say high expectations.
Yeah.
And I would put that same expectations on my friends and family. And sometimes they'd be like, okay, I don't want to be around him because I already know if I tell him one little thing I'm going to do, he's going to hold me accountable for it. So it allows people to be like, okay, I can't be around him because he's going to ask me, did you get that done? And it's going to make them feel bad about coming around because they didn't get it done. So that's one of the main things. And it's like, I want to adjust it in a way I just let people do them. But in some ways I'm like, nah, because ain't nobody going to tell you but me. So.
Yeah, I can relate to that too.
I say I agree with a lot of it too, but I say the main thing for me is just like not having time for my family.
Dang. I feel you.
Like, I tell them straight up, like, I can't be around 24/7. You know what I'm saying? Because if I get unfocused, I'm going to be unfocused. So I'd rather stay focused. That's real.
Yeah. Nah, I feel that too. I would say for me, the main things that have affected me internally, I'll say my relationship with my dad has caused like other issues just in life in general. So because of how things were with my dad, it caused me to like seek her validation. So like wanting to hear people say things like, oh, I'm proud of you, or like things like that. Or I would say even because of how my dad would talk to me, I would be afraid to speak up for myself because I was so used to being like yelled at and things like that, or talked to a certain way. So when it came to speaking up for myself, saying no, or even like standing on my nose, things like that, I would struggle with. Even like my dad, he would do this thing of where around people, he would treat me like, oh, this is like my trophy. I'm gonna show off my child. I'm gonna show off my daughter. But as soon as the people go away, he's telling me like how terrible I am, how small I am. So it created this thing of, it made me feel like I have to present myself as perfect. So I have to present myself a certain way when I meet people because I want to be seen like,
As a
I don't want to
trophy.
say as a trophy because it sounds so bad, but yeah, so I realized that a lot of the issues I dealt with internally came from like the relationship that I had with my dad, but that's stuff that I've been working on. But I think those are definitely things I've dealt with, and I could relate to, honestly.
Everybody.
I can relate to everybody,
Even the dad
especially
aspect.
especially okay. So for my family, I'm the middle child, but I have an older brother and an older sister, and it's not saying that they're not great people, but they have kids, you know, and I don't have that.
I know where this is going.
And so it's that like I'm not saying my parents do put pressure on me, but I feel it because it's like I'm the middle child. I have to get it right. Like I have to be like I don't have kids in college. Like I'm focused on my work. I do like the traditional marriage and then have kids. You know, find that one, then have kids. But sometimes I'm like, dang, like I need a breather. You know, like why is this so much on me right now? But it just seems like I have to because it doesn't feel like it feels like that's a pattern in our family. A lot. My brother didn't graduate college. My sister is getting her degree now, but she dropped out too. And so there was like a lot of things where it's like, okay, Avian, I have to be the one that gets this right.
You have
because,
to be the perfect child.
Yeah, because if I don't, then like I'll just be. It's not trying to be like, but another one of
I'll
them.
just be average.
Yeah, I'll be average. Like
No
no disrespect to them. I love them to death, but that's just not where I see my life going forward, moving forward.
It's disrespect.
Nah, it's not.
Oh, okay.
It's just you being honest.
Yeah, I think that's what, even like with what Keon said, like that's something that I deal with as far as having people in your circle and you're saying like, oh, I gotta be better, I gotta keep improving. And other people, they're just like, you know, it's fine, like it's fine you're not where you're at, and it's like, no, I gotta get to where I'm trying to go to in order to keep like elevating. And it stems from different things of like what you said, Jada, of, you know, your parent not putting you on a pedestal and stuff. I remember like I don't have a great relationship with men, and that's something that I started to learn over time. Like I'm willing to confide in a woman than I am with a guy, and so it's like a lot of relationships I respect the men in my life, but it's just not, the relationship is close. I'm not going to tell you too much, I'm not going to open up too much. And it would be a thing of like my father not being in my life. I remember a prime example of when he said he was going to come pick me up, and then me and my mom was helping me get dressed, and he was at the door and he left, and he said, you was taking too long, I had to go. And so it's like you already not in my life, so the few times that you do show up, you're gonna leave. And then when he left, my cousin called and she was like, his dad is at the club, because my mom told my cousin like that he had left, and he was at the club like with his friends and stuff. And then even a prime thing of like my stepdad would do this thing when we were growing up of like, oh, I'll take you here, and then I'll be like, oh, I'm too tired, never mind. So that's like a pattern of like communication, saying you're gonna do something but then you don't do it. So now that's a standard, and it's crazy because the same person that you don't want to become, you end up becoming in a way. So that's like,
I had a question because I'm listening to all of us talk, and I'm thinking about how all of us have something to do with communication in one way, like accountability, relationships, family. How is everybody balancing their relationships with their family? Because I'm pretty sure we all have pressure on ourselves that we place on ourselves because we want to do well, but we also want to do well for our families. But it's like in that, you might have those times, like you were saying with your friends, where it seems like people aren't kind of showing up for you with things like that. Because that's something that I've recently talked about, and it's something that has been weighing on me a lot. But missing out on family, that's something that I've also experienced because I was working so hard for an experience that I want to be able to provide for my family that I'm actually missing out on my family. But is that worth it? Because one thing that happened to me was there was a family member that had passed when I was just grinding, right? And I'm thinking, dang, I just wasn't present. But this is the sacrifice, or is it worth it? Like I'm missing all of these things, but I'm sacrificing that now so we can not have to miss each other later, or we can all have these things later. So how are y'all balancing y'all relationships with y'all's family and then communication with them as well?
For the brand. Man, stand on what they stand on too. For the brand, bro.
I want to ask
Take it away.
what you just said about. So, I talked about this on our first episode that we threw away.
the episode is long gone to know.
Okay.
No, for real. But basically, what made me realize that I need to prioritize family and things like that a little more, maybe find a better balance, was my grandmother's birthday last year. Her birthday's July 4th. You call your grandparents and stuff on their birthday. I didn't call my grandma, but I was working that whole day. So the day is going by, and I keep remembering, like, oh yeah, it's my grandma's birthday. I'm like, I'm gonna call her in a little bit when I finish this. An hour or two go by. I'm like, okay, I'm calling in a little bit when I finish this. So then it's 9 o'clock. I don't call her, and I just text her. And I'm like, hey, like, are you still up? Because she's in Texas, so it's like at 8 o'clock there. I'm like, you still up? Like, so I could call you. She didn't respond. So the next day she texted me and she said, hey, I'm going to call you later. Your grandfather has to go to the hospital. And immediately I knew, I was like, oh, shoot, like, my granddad just died. And he wasn't sick or nothing, but I just felt it immediately. And so then I get a call maybe like an hour or so later from my mom, and she was like, yeah, granddaddy passed. And he just, it was just random, like, randomly, like, passed. And I remember feeling so bad because I was like, girl, you were working that whole day. Because my grandfather wasn't sick or nothing, if I would have called, I would have talked to him. That was like my last opportunity to have a conversation with him, see how he's doing, like, tell him I love him, you know? And the fact that I was so focused on, like, I'm working, and also the thought of, I mean, if I don't get to talk to her today, I just talk to her tomorrow. Like, I didn't treat it as a priority. After that happened, I was like, wow, you just missed your last opportunity to talk to your granddad because you worked the whole day. And so now, ever since then, I try and view the whole work-life balance
Take it a little more
differently.
serious.
Yeah, because you really don't know when's the last
really
time you
don't.
get to talk to somebody for real.
But we always say like, oh, we'll do it tomorrow, but who say
Exactly.
tomorrow was guaranteed?
Right.
It's not.
Yeah.
It was so crazy. Like, mine's is similar. In college, it was freshman year, and my grandma, I was just about to go on spring break to visit my grandma, and I haven't talked to her for a minute. And then next to I think it's like a couple days before I go, and I'm like, I get a call from my mom's phone, but it's my auntie on, and I'm like, hey mom, like I can't wait, I'm excited, and like I just hear crying because they're at the hospital, and they're trying to resuscitate my grandmother back alive and all these things, and it was so heartbreaking for me because I was like, damn, like, sorry, that I never will see my grandma again. And that is somebody I cherish. She was like the glue on my mom's side of the family. She was like the person that glued us all together, that made sure that I see my brother, I see my nieces and nephews, my mom more. And that moment I was like, I really have to start taking not take this lightly. Like, I really need to call my granddaddy more. I make sure I call him more, talk to my mom on a regular basis, or she be blowing me up anyway. And then, of course, say hi to my stepmom, get, just talk, have those type of conversations, because it is true. Like, you really never know when's the last one. And that time scared me, and I'm like, I don't want to feel like I regret this moment to where, like, it follows me. I'm like, dang, like, I really regret that I didn't get to see her or get to say bye or hug her before she had to go.
And what's crazy is, like, I literally just came back today from seeing my family. And so even though they're all the way in North Carolina, I'm out here in Atlanta. But it's like, I'd rather take that 4-hour drive, spend that little bit of time with them, and then come back and get back to the grind. But sometimes I do get in my seasons of, like, just work. And sometimes my dad will call me and just be like, you haven't talked to me in a minute. Or he'll be like, I like hearing your voice. I remember he told me, he was like, I like talking to you. And I know you be busy, and I don't be trying to interrupt you, but I want to talk to you. And so from that moment, I'm like, dang, I have to make sure I'm calling him, because he don't want to call me because he thinks I'm busy. And my grandma don't want to call me because she thinks I'm busy. And it's like, yeah, I am, but you can interrupt because I want to talk to you. Exactly.
And see, that's why I wanted to, like, bring some of this up, because there are times where you are going so hard. I've had times where for months, again, you're going so hard and you just grinding. But then it seems like those little times, let's say it's that one weekend, that one holiday weekend, you get with your family, and you get re-inspired again. It's like, these are the people, these are the people who I'm here to do this for, right?
And that's exactly how it was when I went to go see my family, because I'm like, oh yeah, this is why I'm going hard, because like, I relate to you because I'm the oldest in my family, and my family is small. And so I feel like it's on me, because my brother's 13, so it's on me to free my family financially. If not, they're going to have to wait for my brother to get older. So I feel that pressure of having to go hard, but then it's like, but then when I do get around them, I have that feeling of like, oh yeah, this is why I'm going hard. So I have to make sure I'm like still talking to them, because I don't want to get to that level I'm trying to reach, and now they're not even trying to hang out and nothing, because they think don't care about them.
I'm definitely like terrible with, like, in all honesty, I'm terrible with communicating with family, because you get so caught up in like, oh, I have to reach these goals, like it's a must. And so, like you said, you got a little brother. I also have a little brother, and how like you miss your brother's birthday. I miss my mom's birthday, and I haven't went back home. And the time that I plan to go back home is like in November during the holidays and stuff. And so it even reminds me of like something that the guy from The Diary of a CEO said, is like, if you move out your family's crib and like you only visit them on a holiday, and let's say like, you never know when the time may come that that may be your last time seeing them. So if you see them on only Christmas, if you see them on only Thanksgiving, a birthday, that means you have 3 times within 365 days to visit your family. So you have to put it in that perspective, when you can use those 365 days. Like you can use those 365 days to like get on the phone, they want to hear your voice and stuff. Like, it becomes to a point where you don't even get invited to events. Like, I don't get invited to events because they say, like, oh, I thought you were too busy. Like, you know, my mom may not tell me about something that happened at my brother's school because she felt like, oh, like, you're way too busy. I don't want to bother you. But at the same time, it's like, I want to hear your voice, though. I don't want to text you through a phone and just know, like, ask the bare minimum questions or feel like I don't have your undivided attention to talk to them. And that's something that I really, like, learned is, like, you have to stay connected to your roots because your loved ones, they're going to be there whether everything hit the fan or not. So you really got to, like, stay tapped in because they love you for you and not for the things that you've attained.
I would say something that helped me basically keep that work-life balance with my family, kind of like what you said in a trophy way, but like I feel like as being an influencer, how we're all sitting here today, if we want to influence the world, we can start with our family. So I feel like
bars. And I wanted to add to that.
As soon as like,
keep going.
Like for instance, when this podcast come out for me, this is a great opportunity. But my family can see, oh, Jaden was on this, and I'm like, yes, this is what we can do. Like this is our name, this is us.
Okay.
Like you better have something to show.
Like there's something to show.
Yeah, put on.
That would help them. Like, oh, he doing it. This is my brother. He with me. He playing basketball with me.
Right.
Just that kind of being around you, that motivation could rub off on them. You can't save everybody, but you can, in a way, try to inspire people to find their own way. And imagine your first cousins. Like,
that's so true.
I'm grateful. You know, my whole family, we're kind of on the same boat because it's people who want it more than me and my family. I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
And we're all going to Puerto Rico Friday, which is it's a select group of my family, but I'm thankful to be able to do that because we all influence, inspire each other.
Hard.
You know?
That's hard.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah. Of course.
So I've been an entrepreneur since like I was 17, right? And I'm listening to y'all, and I'm like replaying some of the thoughts in my mind. So when I was 19, I had my first six figures, and I remember putting that pressure. And I'm like, okay, guys, like I did it. Who next?
Yeah.
And everybody in front like, we're not doing that. You know,
Oh,
so
wow.
I remember one time I got so stressed out, like everything was like crazy. I even moved to Florida or whatever. And one time I went to therapy. Like one time I really wanted to go to therapy. And he was like, okay, what's in your mind? And I wrote down my goals. I wrote down 5 goals. And I wrote down, okay, I want to do this for my dad. I want to do this for my grandma. I want to do this for this. And he was like, why none of these goals ain't got nothing to do with you? It has something to do with what somebody else does. And I would just say, like, that was the one thing that changed my whole entire mindset in regards to what I do in life for business. I'm not going to say that don't do it for your family because you can kind of still do it for your family, but don't have that expectation that, you know, they're going to be the ones to be your ticket to accomplishments or achievements. Because at the end of the day, they still got their life. You know?
That's true.
They still made their decisions.
You trying to do this for your mama, and your mama been doing this before you even been born. You know? Like you trying to get your family off the streets, but
Maybe they want to stay here.
Yes,
Right.
yeah.
That might.
I mean, what do you guys think about putting that? Have you guys ever put that pressure on yourself to like bring people with you? And it's just like you got to get to a point where you just got to let that go.
I actually wanted to bring that up when you first talked about how your friends, like you said, may not want to come around you because of that pressure you apply. I think sometimes I feel a disconnect from family and friends, knowing that I do have these big dreams and big goals, and I want to see everybody eat. But I realize you cannot change anybody. You cannot get anybody to do anything that they don't want to do. And I just finally had to just let it go.
Some of those things are just necessary. I mean, some people can't come with you. Some people just can't go because they think it's too small. But you said I wanted to hear what you thought about it.
I agree with him so much. Like, it's like you want it so bad, but really nobody else around you really do.
Yeah.
Not as bad as you do. So it's like, what you gonna get behind the car and start pushing it?
That's real. That's real.
Like, I ain't trying to sit in that.
Sorry, you go.
I say my question is, like how we all talking like that, something I struggle with. How do, not gonna say necessarily turn that off, but I can't have small talk conversations no more.
Yeah.
Sometimes
that's
what I'm saying.
So that's how we feeling like the
What you mean
disconnect.
by that?
Right, so
Like when I'm around people or like around, I just want to talk straight. Like how I asked you about your podcast. Like I want to learn something. I want to grow. I don't just be like, bro, how was the game? Like it's straight Like, dang, bro, how long you been doing shoes?
Sometimes it make me
that's
feel
just my conversation.
like sometimes it make me think like, am I boring? Because when people talk to me about certain things, I'm not as receptive. Like I'll listen, but I don't really care about what the conversation is. Like if you're talking about like, I don't know, whatever the conversation may be, where it's like small minded, it makes me like not interested in the conversation.
Yeah.
So it also is a disconnect because like, all right, I'm talking to you about what I want to talk about, and you're also not interested. So it's like, all right, where's the connection? And that's through friends and
family.
I think as far as friends, I feel like it's okay to drop those type of friends to be honest. Because I know for me, like
I'm not mad at that.
Like for me, and it's not like I dropped the friendship, but I just realized, okay, we have nothing to connect with anymore. Yeah. And it was somebody I was really close to in high school. But then when I got around them, it's remember we used to? And it's just like, okay.
But those are the people you place with. You know what I'm saying? So when you go to high school, those are the people that you live with. So when you start to meet, for example, I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. You know, I gotta throw it in there, right? All right, so I'm not. Don't do me. Don't do me, man. Nobody was in it. Don't do me. I'm making a point. I promise. Y'all see the shirt, bro. Look, so I'm bringing it to a point to say, for example, I met y'all recently, right? So in that short time that I met y'all, there are already things I could see, I could learn from y'all, I could, work with y'all, get some opportunities to create, or opportunities that we could take together or make together, right? But there are some people that I might have gone to high school with, but those are the people that kind of live within the same area as me. We don't live in the same area, but we're like-minded in certain ways. So that makes it easier for us to get to our goals. So that means sometimes those people that you were placed with in the beginning, you can't always stay with them because there are people that are where you are mentally now that you need to move with to get to where you want to go.
But I feel like it just gets to a certain place where y'all just have nothing to talk about anymore.
Yeah.
But it's certain people, because that's how it is for me.
But I don't know because, all right, I get it. What I'm thinking about right now is when we talk, it's not always about business. We have a lot of productive conversations, but we also be super goofy with each other.
We do.
Even like when I talk to you, like we can talk about a bunch of different things. It's not always like
It's not really the conversation.
Right.
It's the vibration.
Yes.
That's what I was about to bring up.
Even my granddad, like, he'll tell me his stories 70 times. But I care to listen to the same exact story because that's my grandpa.
I love you.
Yes,
I love you.
It's like, bring it up again. All right. Tell me how you had to
love you. Tell me again.
So I was thinking about that too, how you said like not being on the same vibration, because I feel like I've had friends as well where I don't know, we can have conversations and they are talking about the same things, but it's like, oh, I'm messing with this dude now. Oh, I just had sex with this dude.
Oh my gosh.
And it's just like,
nope.
No, I do not want to keep hearing about these dudes.
I'm saying
over and over and over again.
Or even how Yanni said, like, there's a disconnect when somebody keeps telling me about the life of somebody else that we went to school with.
Yeah, like the
I don't care about
stuff,
if
like
Sharkeisha got pregnant. I don't care if Boom Boom ended up in jail. Like, I don't care about that stuff.
I don't care about Moo Moo. Like,
yeah,
but I feel like I feel like maybe we're all just honestly looking for like-minded people, and that doesn't mean you have to always talk about business with those people.
Yeah, we're humans.
Yeah, exactly. We're not robots. But I feel like it just comes down to like, are we on the same frequency? Are we on the same vibration?
It's good to have that balance.
Yeah,
So people,
I
know we can go make some money, but I know we can kick it.
Do we have balance? Are we growing together?
Yeah, exactly.
I agree. Have you guys ever, because I've always wanted those friends that's like, yeah, I've been cool with her since like middle school. I love her, all this stuff, but like little did I know I had to drop them because like it's not trying to say they were just on a different path. Some got pregnant, some want to go on another route. I'm like, I'm good. Yeah, that's not what I want to do.
Friends I grew up with since like elementary school, middle school, they dropped me.
It's definitely possible though, because so my best friend now, we just started getting like really close, but I went to high school with her, and she's in college. Like, she doesn't want to be an entrepreneur, but we're still, like you said, the vibration. We're still on that level of trying to grow and stuff like that.
You can grow in different ways. And one thing that's like really been a question for me in this life, because I feel like when you're 20, you're just always changing in some aspect. So one thing that has been like weighing heavy on me, like specifically for this podcast, because this is like a business partnership, and we didn't know each other prior to starting this podcast. So like, y'all can let me know what y'all think, but okay, the people that you work with in business, it makes me think like, is this a real connection? Like, are we genuinely friends, or are we friends based off of the relationship that we have in business?
So good.
And so it made me think like, with the podcast specifically, like, if we weren't on a network, if we didn't have Dave who connected us together, would I genuinely want to friend you? Would I genuinely want to be your friend?
I think you would know though.
It's
you
like,
feel that.
Yeah, and so like, I feel like y'all like Zell, all of y'all genuinely have become friends, but it's like, is that
you wouldn't want to be with them outside of this if that wasn't.
So, well, I don't know, because I'm not gonna. Okay, so it was a girl that I was friends with in like the entrepreneur space. We did business together. And I'm thinking, I was so happy, because I remember thinking like, oh my gosh, like, this is my friend. Like, this is before meeting Yanni. So I like I said, okay, how you mentioned the whole like middle school friends. I lost my whole group of girlfriends. So my friend circle mainly became guys. But so when I met her and we're hitting it off and we're doing business together, I'm like, oh my gosh, I got me a girlfriend. Like, I was so happy. Then we stopped doing business together. And then it's just like it died. But it's like, it was so crazy, because like how you said, was y'all hang together outside of the podcast. So clearly y'all like each other. Me and her hung out outside the podcast. She was at my birthday stuff. I was at her house. She was at my house. Like, I'm really thinking, oh, we're friends for real.
Like, that's my twin for real.
Exactly. Like, I'm really thinking, oh shit, like, we both like business and we have like a lot of stuff in common. Like, I'm thinking, oh, this is actually my friend. Yeah. And then once we stopped doing business together, it was like, kind of fizzled out, and it's just like, oh.
I think that's why it's like really important to categorize friends. Like, I would go to like a mentor house and I get people like, dang, you didn't bring me. I'm like,
this ain't your vibe. This ain't your vibe, my boy.
That's different things. It's true. Like, if we talking about this, okay, it's times where I don't want to talk about business. I want to talk about what they want to talk about.
Yeah.
But I know that that's the friend that I call to talk about that type of stuff too. And I know this is a friend I talk about business to. So I categorize friends and I don't mix my bubbles. I remember I had a party one time and it mixed. It went bad.
Bro, that never works.
Ooh,
that never
I needed to hear that. I needed to hear
that. I used to get mad when, and not to talk so much about business, because I want to get like.
And I'm about to bring up another question.
And so goes back to life. One thing that has made me, as you said, categorize people of like, it's black or white, it's this or it's that. And so before I used to get mad, like, when clients would text me early in the morning, like it's 7 a.m. and you're talking about, yo, like, oh my gosh. So like that used to annoy me, because I'm like, I genuinely will look at people like, oh, you're a friend, but it's like, no, you're my client, and that's all that it is. You feel me? So let's keep it that way and understand like, this is business, this is friendship, and knowing that like friendship isn't just, it isn't just like we're only committed to each other when we're able to fulfill whatever needs that we want. But it's like, sometimes I believe one of y'all said it, but like, sometimes you may not want to hear a topic. Like, I may not want to hear Jada and Yanni talk about something, I don't know, lashes.
Yeah.
But I'm going to sit there and listen for a few, and I go from there.
I'm going to be out. Yeah.
I have something that goes with that, but that would be about business.
Yeah.
More so like
you could bring it back.
Yeah. But definitely, I'm going to keep that in mind.
Hey y'all, what's up? I know you're enjoying the episode, but real quick, we wanted to take a second to talk to y'all.
Hey, pull out your phones right now and text the word GPCREW to the number down below. Let's get it.
Go do that right now. You're going to get updates about new drops, events, and so much more.
And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Now let me get back behind the camera. Let's get it.
We talked about like relationships with family, but I also want to talk about romantic relationships too. So everybody can say if they're dating or not. Or actually, no, let's not do that.
Somebody gonna get caught in an entanglement of this shit.
Let's just go into the question.
Jada, why you ain't one of them?
I just feel like, why we gotta put people's business out, you know?
I feel it.
But anyways, how do y'all feel about dating in your 20s? Like, yeah, I guess like I feel like dating. I hear a lot of people say dating is harder now. So
I feel like people don't know what they want, man.
I can say I don't know what I want.
Or they
like,
are not ready for what they want, which is something that comes with being young. You think you know something, and then now we know some stuff, but when it comes to that, sometimes you might be dating somebody and you're feeling like, okay, this is cool. And then y'all actually start dating, somebody changes and you can't control that. Or they actually are true to who they are. And now they are kind of commanding something. They're kind of commanding you to bring something out of yourself that you weren't ready to do. So I've had that happen to me. So yeah, it's a lot of confusion and a lot of people just not being straight up and straightforward about what they want and who they are. So yeah.
I agree.
I feel like for me, I think dating kind of exposes who you really are. I feel like it shows you things about yourself that you really didn't know were there. Especially, I feel like the more committed of a relationship you're in, I feel like the more it shows you, like, it's like a mirror of really showing you, like, who you really are. And so I think, for me, dating so far in my 20s, I feel like I've been able to learn a lot about myself. But now I feel like because I have been in a few relationships, I feel like I know exactly what I want, you know? I feel like, because it's like you testing stuff out, you know? So it's like,
dating is collecting data.
Yes, exactly.
It is collecting data. People think it needs to be a relationship. It doesn't. You're collecting data. You are really trying to actually get to know that person.
That sounds kind
you
of
can
crazy.
have
collecting data.
I hear you, but that's kind of wild.
But it's true because, like, why do you? Okay, so I don't feel like a person should put so much pressure of being like, this is my person. This is the one. Because honestly, once you really get to know them, you really don't know.
Especially the labeling thing, like, oh, you're my person. Like, you're
but the whole
person.
Well, you're not gonna connect. No, you're not. Yeah, you wouldn't collect any data if you're not doing any dating. So you have to.
You have to do something. You have to do something. But I'm saying, don't put so much pressure of like, oh, like he's it or she's it.
Yeah.
Like it's okay. It's okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's okay to be like, I'm dating you. I'm dating you.
But I feel like
I'm looking at my options and I'm like, okay, I like this about this person. I like this about this person. And that's it. I don't have to have sexual relations with either one of you. I don't have to do none of that. Now, if I choose to, that's my choice. But if you stick to one person, you're always going to feel like this is the person. You're always going to be like, oh, yeah, this is the person because I'm sticking with this person.
Listen.
She threw it off a little.
So are you stating that? Wait. Okay. Okay. So you're saying that collecting data meaning that you need to date multiple people at the same time. Is that what you're saying?
You can. I'm saying it's not a problem.
So you're talking or you're dating?
Okay,
Because that's the confusion.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I feel like when people say dating, they think it's a whole relationship.
But it's just getting to know each other.
It's getting to know one another.
Yeah. So me collecting data has been the fact that I have been in a few relationships, but I agree. I agree. That's what I'm saying because I was the same way. Like, I'm only dating this one person, so this is the one.
Yeah,
this is the person
you're not
I've been
understanding
there.
what you actually
Exactly.
like.
But I've been hearing that more often. Like, you should date multiple people at the same time, so that way you can see like.
What do you like?
But then it's like, how long does that go on for? Because I feel like for me, it's like date with an intention.
Yes.
Yeah, that's my thing.
So it's like, how do you know when to cut who off?
With intention.
Yeah.
Like,
but this
are we just
other
dating
part.
just the date?
But
Or are we
it's,
dating
yeah.
just like
Well,
other parts?
I feel like that's the point though. Like date with intention.
It is dating
Yeah,
with
but then
intention.
it's like,
I'm not saying I gotta have like 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if I only have 2, then it's like, okay, these are the 2 that I see that I'm intentional about and I want them.
Okay,
So this
well,
is
so
not
how do you know
gonna be
I
true,
look at it as like if you're going on dates with multiple
if
people,
y'all
not like
intimate
I'm
and stuff.
talking to multiple people or like forming relationships.
Can
with
we
multiple
get
people.
like talking? Okay, talking
Okay.
is, let's kind of say that's somewhat of a childish term. Talking, okay, I'm texting you. Are we dating or, because dating, like we say, you don't have to be in a relationship.
To date.
We can go on dates, several, one, whatever, and we'll call it dating from there. Because talking, I feel like that was a lot of weird stuff in there. Exactly, right. Great question. How long does that last, right?
I feel like it doesn't take that long to realize if you want to take things further or not.
But you're dating to learn that.
I think.
Yeah.
Collecting data, right?
Yes, collecting.
Let me say this one thing. This is my other part. If everybody, let's say everybody dates 3 people and everybody's collecting data, that's a web of people, right? Where does it end? Does that make sense? Tell me that makes sense. You dating three, you dating three, you dating three, you dating three. I'm dating three, you dating three.
I could barely manage one.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, I'm not saying that's what I do, but I've been getting a lot of advice that that's what I should do. I've been hearing people say you should date multiple people at the same time because I've always been the girl that I talk to one person.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie though, like.
We were gonna say. Okay, and then let him go.
I was just gonna say, cause you could say, "Oh, this is my person," and then 1 month and you realize this is not who I thought it was gonna be.
So I think it's two things, right? Especially with our generation. I think the first thing, especially men, you have to ask more questions. Men don't ask questions until it's time. People are like, I didn't know you was like that because you didn't ask.
What kind of questions are you asking?
You said that's a men thing?
Yeah, I said for men. I can't speak on how women date. I can speak on how men date.
Valid.
Valid. Kind of questions number one, you have to ask them what are the things that they like. You have to ask about childhood
values.
I mean, childhood is like a really big thing.
Yeah.
About and I'm new to this with dating. I'm in a committed relationship now.
Yeah.
So I ain't talking like
that.
Don't get in trouble.
Right.
I would say I'm not like a person that, like, this is like my second girlfriend ever.
Yeah.
But I would say that what made her my girlfriend is because I asked her over 100 questions from out of a book. And when I asked her all those questions, I'm like,
what's that book?
Yeah. Oh, Lord. Now, what is that book, though?
I don't know. It's like 100 questions you ask while you're dating before you marry a person. And when I asked those questions, I was like, I think
somebody write that.
Somebody
write that down.
Like you gotta figure out if I have the same views as that person. I think the second thing I heard on the podcast, and I think it's a really big problem in our generation. No offense to y'all, but most people do not practice monogamy until they're actually married, and they realize they can't. They can't do it.
Oh,
it's really hard for them to be in a committed relationship because you like. Shit, I've been dating, and now I'm married. I don't know how to stop dating.
Oh, I hear what you're saying. I'm about to say
for the ladies, I got a question though. So with the dating aspect, talking to multiple people, are y'all up front? Because I feel like as a man, with necessarily what I built for myself and the standard I hold myself to, if you tell me you talking to me and another guy, just out of my respect, I don't want it.
It's just the other guy now.
It's the other guy. Like I'm already good on my end, comfortably. You know what I'm saying? In my career, what I got going on. So are y'all up front or y'all just?
Yeah, because if you don't.
What? That's crazy.
Okay.
Hey, bro.
Nobody budge.
Wait, because I feel like
Nobody budge.
They come like
I don't feel like I can
They getting hot. Y'all getting hot.
I feel like it's a double standard. Yes,
Okay. That's fair.
From my personal experience.
That's fair. That's a double standard.
Let me say.
You go ahead, and then you go.
From my personal experience, like I said.
Calm.
You calm, man.
Like I said, I've always been the girl that it's like, I start talking to a person, and then because they're the only person, I think like, this could really be my person. But I'll say in like younger years, like high school and stuff, and even like early college, that was like my big era of, I'm talking to multiple people. But I never told them because.
What do you feel like you gain from that if I tell you?
Honesty.
And I feel like guys try and pick girls
what type of honesty, I get that, but like in what type of way though? Because
you know what I'm dealing with.
You can understand what you're dealing with when you're talking and having a conversation with me. You trying to understand who else I'm dealing with when it has nothing to do with you. That doesn't make any sense to me.
And I feel like guys,
right? And we go to the fair tonight. Go to the fair, I win you a little bear, grab you a little bear, and Tre'Vion come up like, when we just...
Yeah. And it's like, I'm collecting data right now, hold on.
That's what we do.
What was the question that you had, you said?
I said a minute ago, but I was asking you, like, what is dating to you? Like, what is dating to you?
Yeah, because you may look at it like, if I'm in something serious with this girl and she's dating other people, then, that's bad. But if I just met you and we've been on one date, but then I go on a date with someone else, I just met you, and I just met that person.
Yeah.
If we have any, so I'm the type of person, if I feel like I've actually formed a connection with you, then naturally I'm just gonna stop talking to other people because at that point you have my attention, you have my focus. If we just met and I don't feel no connection to you, what do I need to cut off other people for?
What do I have to tell you that, hey, I'm dating Johnny?
I'm just saying you on a date and I call you. What do you do?
Either I don't.
I just like, hey.
Yeah. Like, you call me while I'm on a date?
Because I'm thinking.
Because he don't know you on a date because you didn't tell him.
I think
Why
we
would I
gotta
need to
connect.
tell
Okay, so
on a
that's
date?
yeah. I think she's
That's
coming from a
different.
point of view of in the beginning stage.
Exactly.
Yeah, like, in the
You're coming from
beginning.
like we're months in. We're like
Yeah, like,
we're months in. I'm
Is
going
that the
to your
perspective
house.
you're
I'm
coming
your
from?
family,
Listen,
stuff like
real quick.
that.
If I'm giving you my
Real
time
quick.
off, bruh.
Real quick.
If we text for 2 weeks and you talking to other
But think
people,
about
like,
it.
that's my time. Like,
Think about it though. If you actually don't know,
Listen,
think about it though.
real quick. What's the answer to his question? What does dating look like? That was the question that he asked.
Okay, so you can go.
Let him go though.
Oh, go ahead.
let's say I invite you over to my apartment, right? First week, I want to cook you a dinner or something. We kicking, we
Okay,
vibing.
cooking a dinner.
And first off, before I start talking to you, I'm gonna tell you my schedule, my time. Like, I'm creating this time for you. This is what I have going on. And if I'm creating that time for you and you are not giving me that same time back, you invested in other stuff, you're not giving me a chance from the jump.
So you're doing that from the jump.
From the jump,
That's what
that's
you're
just
doing.
respect. I mean, if I talk to you, I'm gonna give you my time out of respect.
And
for
if I
you.
give you my time, and then I still give other people my time, that's bad?
I
Because
think
if I'm
to me-
respecting your time, and I'm saying like, yeah, I do want to hang out, but if I'm not free Friday, then I'm not free Friday.
why are you free? And
But why would you do
I'm not.
if we're just starting to have a
I
convo?
think we gotta.
I feel like people shouldn't have to. If I don't have a connection with you, why should people have to cut off?
Like,
all
why do you
their-
owe?
Yeah, like if we,
I
because
feel-
I
I
look
feel-
at it at the beginning stage. If we just
Yeah.
met and we have no connection, then
Yeah.
Not like
Why?
first day, but I guess months.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
But see, okay, so
Because
that's a
just-
difference though.
Yeah.
But like she said, like in months in, naturally us women, we form that emotional connection
Yes.
to where it's like, okay, yeah, I'm really seriously
Right.
thinking of this dude. This is the one I want.
Yes, and it
then
doesn't-
the other guys kind of, we stop texting, we stop doing that. But I'm not finna tell you off rip.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm finna date these
and it
other
doesn't
guys.
mean that
Not
you're kissing all these dudes or doing stuff with all of these dudes. Going on a date is literally just going on a date.
Yeah.
On a date, you can kiss everybody.
Okay, well that
That makes sense. All right. We heard
Okay.
at the end of the date, you have a good night, smooch. Have a good night. I saw you go ahead.
Okay,
I'm
look,
going
but
home.
look, we heard from them, so
I'm just saying though.
Like,
I think we gotta be real.
They going back.
That's how
You're
some
not
people
in
move.
a situation to where you're dating. Let's say you start a date. You're dating one person. 1 week, you're gonna date a person. Week 2, you're gonna date a person. How long are you dating these people? You're not just dating a person in a 30-day period and then cutting them off. Like, so in what you're saying, I understand what you're saying. All you're asking for is transparency. But I think what you all are saying, I like your perspectives. You know what I'm saying? I think it should be a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm straight off the streets. Like, I understand. Like, if you date a person, okay, I'm dating this person. Every now and then I hit you up, boom. Now I'm moving on. Okay, but I forgot about you. I can talk to this person, but at the end of the day,
I forgot about you.
that's in a whole, that's in a whole time frame. We're talking about 3-4 months. So I think what he's saying is when do you actually get to the point to where you say, hey, enough is enough. I'm going to actually just devote my time to actually get to know this person. And if it doesn't work in the next week or 2, all right, we're going to just start over. With
I
the
think
time.
I think
when
that
things start to get like more serious,
Exactly.
like really in
Yeah.
their
Like,
family.
I really- yeah.
Yeah, y'all saying y'all
Every
each other,
person,
y'all
you
getting
don't
more
gotta be the
intimate.
family.
yeah, I
But-
think, but I also
That's
think
when it
that's
starts to get
conversation.
But
I
it's-
think that's
man.
conversation about like, okay, where do you see us going? Where do you see us like moving forward
Exactly.
to? Those are the conversations that you would need to have, like Keon said, deeper, meaningful conversations that's saying like, okay, I see that he wants to take this seriously.
Exactly.
Let's move forward to this then let's be one unit.
Because I've also seen guys basically try and say if you see, okay, y'all are entrepreneurs and things like that. You see a girl who is doing her thing, you think she's really great, and it's like, oh, let me approach her, let me pursue her.
Oh Lord.
It's like, okay, just how you said you want to have all her attention. I look at that as, it's like, okay, let me have all of her attention. But, okay, this lady, she explained it so perfectly. Okay, it's like you're trying to get all her attention, keeping her from like other options and things like that. But it's like, what if you're not really the person for her? So it's like you're taking up her time. And it's like, well, this girl, she is a great girl. She could go and date other people if she wants to. But because you feel like, oh, well, because I'm pursuing you, I need all of your attention, then she should just get all of your attention when that's not really the case, you know?
Yeah.
I have another question. Or were you gonna say something?
I was gonna say I understand both perspectives, and I guess the timeline thing is just for me. I just feel like I just want transparency, matching energy, you know,
For sure.
in a way, because I'm not texting 10 other girls. just tell me if you texting 5 other guys. Let me make the choice. Like, all right, she texting 5 guys. Either I gotta come trim
Get that.
and like really win her over, or you good on that. I'm just gonna focus on me. You know.
Yeah.
And I have a question. So like, I feel like with what you just said, I feel like guys gotta be realistic though too, cause it's like if you know, like girls are constantly getting people sliding in their DMs, messaging them, but it's like what makes you stand out? You feel me? And so the one question I have, we all talking about dating, collecting data, and all of that. So like for me, what's been confusing is like, what do I really want? Like, what is a person I want? Cause like I don't want the girl that's like all the way outside. That's like a treesh. You feel me? But I also don't want somebody that's like boring and like, you know, just reading books and playing with her fingers and like I don't know, like I just don't want nobody that's like boring.
I really want to hear.
But hold on. I have a question though. So with that being said, like what is the intention? Like what do you look for when you're dating? Like when you're pursuing someone?
Okay.
Yeah.
And y'all could start off.
I didn't know what to look for. I'll be honest, but I just say this. I understand what you're saying. My girl now, she don't have an Instagram, she don't have a TikTok, she don't go places.
Where you find her at?
She works in the beauty industry. She's popping in her business.
How did you find?
Okay. And I think that was like, oh, you a mermaid. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. Like, what is that?
It kind of like put everything in the bubble. I didn't know what it looked like, but I knew it wasn't in the club every weekend.
Yeah, and that's my thing.
I feel that.
I had no idea, but I knew when I first saw it, I said, oh, that makes sense. Oh, this is how you talk. Like, why are you talking to me like this? You know what I'm saying? Like, you was talking to me so nice. I've never had nobody talk to me like that. You know what I'm saying? So I think sometimes you really don't know what you're looking for until you actually see it. And I think that's like the big thing. I think everybody's trying to, oh, what you got going on? What you got going on? Oh, I need to, listen to this podcast. Oh, I need to look out for this now. And you're cutting off people that shouldn't be cut off because they don't fit these check marks. So I think if you actually get a chance to experience a person, and you like, maybe I could work with that. Maybe I can't work with that. Then you make a decision to move forward.
Yeah. What about you, G said?
What you mean? What the conversation? What is it that you look for? So if you're looking to date somebody, what is it that you're looking for? Basically. So what is it that you're looking for whenever you are looking to date?
Support, help, friendship. That's it.
Okay.
Simple.
Jada?
I think lately, like I said, I'm very clear on what I want. A big thing for me is like feeling. Why are you smiling? A big thing for me is feeling. I feel like comfortable and like safe to just be. Also, what is funny?
Go ahead.
Also, I feel like having someone that I can talk to.
Right, just talk. You're making it awkward.
Trey, what are you
I'm just
laughing
looking at her.
Cause it's like, what are you smiling for?
I'm listening to the conversation.
So
Okay, so
Like,
anyways.
what you mean by win her over? Like, I'm stuck at
I'm just being real. Let's say you really like a girl and you feel like she the one, and she just real with you, and she like, look, I've been seeing this other dude, and I don't know which way I want to go. So as a man, you got the choice. You could say, all right,
you gotta compete.
I want her. Like, I don't care who she talking to. I'm gonna go get her. If you,
I get it, but that's wild.
because some
still.
people might
If
just
you want
want
it,
her.
If you want it, you will.
But you want that one that bad?
He might.
I mean,
If that's the one that you see that
He
you
might,
can
you
phone
know
that
what I'm
connection.
saying?
I feel like you ain't really speaking your mind.
She could really
I feel like
be
you
that
got more to say.
girl.
Yeah,
She
when
could
she's really be that
exactly.
girl.
She could really be that girl. So she got multiple people trying to get with her.
I feel like
it's
that's
for a reason.
And I
think-
feel like if men had multiple women and you wanted to show that you were the one for him and for y'all to both realize that, she would do what she needs to do to be like, hey, I know I'm the one. So she would find ways to show you that.
That's valid.
I think that goes both ways.
Like I hear that though.
You got
I
a
hear that though.
boyfriend. You like, I really want her. I'm gonna take her from her, man.
That's what you be doing.
I would.
Okay,
Different.
different
No, I wanna. So look, this is crazy. So real quick.
I'm just saying the same way. Like, if you want her, go get her. Like, you got one life. Bro.
Even if she married,
point.
even if she
I ain't gonna say married.
Hot take. Hot take. That's a hot take.
If she not
locked down on the marriage.
But nah, so I wanted to kind
let that
of,
thing fall out.
I kind of wanted to pivot the conversation a little bit. So,
wait.
okay, go
Well, I
ahead.
think we should still finish.
Yeah, still
okay.
okay.
No, okay, I was saying my list.
Well, it's still about this though. I was gonna ask.
Let's finish what.
Go ahead.
Okay, so like you said, friendship. I look for that. Somebody that I feel like I can have fun with, but also like we could talk about other things, have deep conversations. Someone who I feel like is going to help me grow, help me become better, and vice versa. Like we can help each other grow, become better. But I think the main thing for me is just having to feel like comfortable.
Yeah.
That man got that one finger.
And also like how he treats me. Like, are you respectful?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I really. It's more I could say, but you should go.
Yeah.
I just forgot what I was going to say, honestly, but you can go ahead and go.
Okay, what's your things that you look for?
I want someone who is, I'd say, spiritual. 'Cause I'm Christian. I want someone spiritual.
Praise
And I want someone who, in a way, I can be like, want to be a boss in her own way, and I can help her reach that level.
Mm-hmm.
Like, whatever you want to do in life, let me help you, and you help me. But I want to be like, yeah, this is my wife. Like, this her show, this her art show. Or like, this what she do.
Okay, say, what if you're not looking for a relationship, though?
This don't apply to you.
Yeah.
They go crazy.
Right. I guess do what you want.
I write that down every day.
Everything you typed in.
So I feel like you don't have to be looking for a relationship to find a relationship. Sometimes you just meet somebody.
But at the same time,
Yeah, like you could literally just meet somebody and be like, oh dang, they're really cool.
it's up to you, though, to accept it or not. So it's like,
True.
if you get in it, that's on you.
But you said like you
We
asked,
agree.
are we looking?
We agree. We agree with you.
Like I feel like most times I've gotten in a relationship, I was not necessarily like, oh my gosh, I need to date somebody. Let me find somebody. It's like you in your own world, in your own life. You just meet somebody, and it's like,
Dang,
oh
let's date.
shoot.
Like, let's be together.
I mean, I feel like it happens in stages in your life, so it might be a time where you thinking, because that's happened to me where it's been times where I was not trying to look for nobody, and then I met somebody and I said, dang, I know I just said this, but I wasn't expecting this, so I'm going to search for that. Now, I've never really been in a season where I'm looking for a girlfriend, but if I am, then there are certain things that I am going to look for in that season.
Yeah.
Okay, so for me, it's more so a feeling. It's like a warmth feeling. I like to feel like this is a person that is very welcoming, but also very nurturing. I have a lot of fun with them, and someone I can still have an intellectual conversation with, because if I can't have an intellectual conversation with you, that's what's gonna keep me. Like, your looks are gonna attract me and bring me to you, but if I like to talk to you, that's gonna be what lasts over the long run. Talking about what? So it just can't always be surface level conversation. If we could talk about making some money together, or this is how we would like to raise our children, or these are the kind of principles we want to live by as a couple, just different things like that. Those are things that we have to be able to have those conversations. Because I've had girlfriends before. Hopefully she don't see this, but I've had girlfriends before where I might ask you something and they say I don't know. I hear that. I hear what you said, but I'm asking you for a reason. I'm trying to learn something. I don't know doesn't get me anywhere. I need you to actually explore within yourself what you think, and then tell me, and then we can work with that. But you just keep saying I don't know, or what you doing every 5 seconds. Those are conversations I don't want to have. I want to be able to say, dang, we went from this one subject to this other subject, and we've been talking for 4 hours, right? And none of it was bland. Those are things that I look for.
When you talking about kids, though?
You said why?
I said when.
When do I talk about kids? So I let a girl know up front, like, I want kids. And if they say they don't want kids, then obviously that's not the one. But
I'm saying, you could talk to them, or like?
No, like if I know they want kids, and if I know they don't and I do, that's a waste of time, ain't it?
Yeah.
So there's no point. But I also, because I respect the lady, so I also know I don't carry any children. So when I think about how many kids I want, I'm like, all right, that number might change. I want a bunch of kids because I'm an only child from my mother, but from my dad, I'm the third of 6. So I know I want a lot from mine. And it's like, if I have 2 kids, my mama gonna have 2 grandkids. Now I want her to have a group.
Yeah. People's minds can change though. So like, it ain't a waste of time.
What are you trying to say?
I'm trying to say, like, hey, it can go either way, depending on how you thinking about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Nah,
If you think it's like, oh, she don't want kids, oh, that's over with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Eventually, it could change.
Yeah,
True.
we went over you, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so your turn.
I would want somebody who's ambitious, goal oriented, very emotional intelligence, support, and someone I could really grow with. I'm very goofy. I'm very silly, and sometimes I dealt with older guys who I felt like I had to be this grown woman that I'm not all the time. I'm really like fun and bubbly, and I want to be able to show those things, those side of me, and not feel like, oh my God, because I'm in this certain place with these group of men and he's inviting me, I need to be this upright, professional, like, yes, I got my cool, I look good, like, that's it. But no, like, I really have stuff to say. I really am intelligent. I really do have a voice to speak. So.
Okay. I'll say for me, I feel like I'm still learning what I like and what I don't like. But from what I do know, I feel like I want somebody who's ambitious as well. Somebody that I know can lead. Somebody that I know, because I date for marriage. So, and I know that if I'm dating you and I want to have the intention to become one,
then a covenant.
Yeah, exactly. Then I want to know, okay, this man I'm submitting to, I can trust that he's going to lead. Yeah. I can trust that he's going to make the right decisions. I can trust that he knows what he's doing, you know what I'm saying? So somebody that I can trust in, that can support me, somebody that I can also have good conversations with. I like to laugh, so somebody that can make me laugh, for sure.
I love to laugh.
Yeah, for sure. And then, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely feel as though I'm still trying to figure out, like, what it is that I want. Because, like I said, I don't want the loudest person in the room, but I also don't want, like, somebody that's, like, bland. Like, we could be goofy together, but we could also have intellectual conversation and push each other to grow outside of our comfort zones and be there for each other, be compatible enough to, like, share our emotions and not, like, hold it in and different things like that. Or, like, I'm a real laid back person, so if somebody mess up my order, like, you go ahead and say something. On my light work. You feel me? Go ahead and say, like, hey, you messed up my order. And so, yeah, like, that's still something I'm trying to figure out. And even back to what Keon said, like, just allowing it to be, like, don't force it to be something that it's not, and just really, let it come on its own time, but also don't, like, be closed off to it. So,
All right.
I was gonna ask maybe one question to kind of sum some of it up. So, ladies, I was maybe thinking, what is something that you think men could do to maybe make the dating scene easier for you all? And then for the guys, I was gonna ask y'all, what is something that you think ladies could do to make it easier for us? Because I mean, at the end of the day, it seems like we all want to be with somebody. So, what are things that will help us to get to that point?
I would say guys being like very interested in the conversation.
Listening.
Yeah, and I would also say guys who aren't like super pushy, like, and not being so focused on the physical. I would say that too. Like, get to know me as a person. And I feel like even I think you said it about like, or was it you? You talked about childhood. Getting to know stuff about like the childhood. You know.
He did.
But like having those deeper conversations, but guys being open to have those deeper conversations early on, and then I would say, well, this is like a personal thing. I would say guys like being able to have control over their emotions and stuff like that. I feel like, like having some sort of emotional intelligence, but I know everybody doesn't have that. So go figure it out.
Pushy, though?
It could be with a lot of things. It could be like pushy with physical stuff. It could be pushy like
Don't wear that.
yeah, like just always trying to get something that they want from you, or like some type of action, result, whatever the case. Like they're pushing it, and
they're not getting a hint.
Yeah, exactly.
I get you. So
my thing would be consistency.
that's good too.
I would say that, like, if you were started to do, you text me all the time, good morning, all this, don't be waiting, like, now that we're comfortable with one another, don't think, keep the energy there. Like, don't be sitting there and just don't do it because it's like, oh, now we're together. No, like, at the end of the day, guys love a little chase, girls love a little chase too. We both know that we're putting in the same effort. So you can't be one person when you were trying to get me and then another person after.
Yeah.
And then my other thing is, with the whole being up front, is if you don't see a situation going well, or you don't see that, like, how do I say it? You know that it's not continuing to move forward, then let that person go.
Especially if you know they like you.
Don't keep entertaining me if that's not what you want. Because this is what I don't like. When you sit there and you keep entertaining it and you be like, but I told you what it was from the jump, but my feelings are involved. But the actions that you're showing is not saying that.
Yeah.
And so now I'm getting all these mixed emotions and I'm like, okay, so where's this going? And you're like, I thought I told you from the jump, but you're still continuing to do the same things that you probably shouldn't do, which is making me more attached.
And that's real. I would say for me, it's not rushing things. Like, especially if I'm just meeting you, like, let's get to know each other a little bit first before we start, like, trying to rush things. That's what it is for me.
Okay.
Sure.
And
What was
then-
the question? Can you read
So
that?
for the guys, so basically for the girls is about what can men do to kind of improve, help and get to that end point of being in a committed relationship, and then it's essentially the same thing for the guys. So for me, I was gonna say one thing is, you know, being there, like being emotionally supportive. I'm not saying ladies don't do that, but a lot of guys feel like they have to be hard, so you kind of have to, you know, expect that, but also let them know that, you know, you can let your guard down, and I'm here for you. You have to really show them that they can be soft with you, because some guys have a hard time with that. I personally don't, but I'm kind of speaking for the men that, you know, experience that. I think that's something that would really help.
Sure. I'll go. Something that I've learned, even to what Jada said, of actually getting to know the person and not just wanting to date just based off of physical attraction.
Yeah.
That's something I had to mature in my mind. It's like you could be physically attracted, but it's like you're bland. You don't have no depth. You don't have no
flavor.
substance to you. You feel me?
The
Like,
razzle-dazzle.
you feel me? So stuff like that. And as you said, Jiraiya, just being emotionally supportive. Like, I don't want you to be my mom, but just being able to open up to you and you not like wanting to throw it in my face, like when we not on good terms.
And I wanted to
or wanna
interrupt
tell your
really
friends.
quick. So,
Yeah.
like, because we're agreeing, what I'm more so saying is, like, we should continue that. I think ladies should continue that. That's what I think we're saying.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So being able to continue like pour into each other, but not from a sense of like you're my mom or you're playing a
Yeah.
second mom. You feel me? So that's something that like, you know, I've learned to deal with and continue to fulfill that area. Have that support for men. Allow that open space for men to be like wholeheartedly honest and like, you know, be there for them.
Yeah.
And it's not just the things of like transactional, like, oh, I'm doing this for you, so now like, you know, now I'm gonna show support, now I'm gonna show love, like genuinely be there.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't make you feel weak either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I agree with that. Like, women, I can understand, like, I've heard stories when women made men feel weak because they decided to share their emotions and
Yeah.
feelings. And that shouldn't be a thing. But it is in this generation.
Yeah.
It is.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, I'm not dating anymore. Well, I'm in a
Yeah,
relationship, but
yeah.
I would say like a lot of
He
women.
said I'm gonna keep making that clear.
You got to. They're definitely gonna watch this. But I would say a lot of women I was talking to was like very selfish, extremely selfish, and not transparent at all. Like,
Great point.
when I say transparent, I mean like don't just say one word no. Like, know what, you know. And I think that that's a big thing that men are looking for. They may not know they're looking for it, but when they see it for the first time, they're like, oh, I see what you're saying. Like, you're overly extending what you're saying, and that makes me feel good. And I think the third thing would be reassurance. Like, just like women need reassurance, men need reassurance too, on a consistent basis.
Yes, sir.
Because our minds are wondering, you know, you spending so much time in your business, you like, okay, is this even worth it bringing you into my life? Because my emotions are going everywhere. Am I going, you know, it's so many things that are happening in our minds. So reassurance is such a really big thing as well.
I say like enjoying me for me. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Instead of like enjoying what I got. Like, let's enjoy each other. Let's talk, like you said. Like, let's talk. Let's just have fun.
Yes, sir.
And know what you want. Also, you know what I'm saying? Like she say, dating for marriage. Like, you want to date for marriage? Let me know, or at least let me know that like that's how you feel. Like, show it, but don't show like you want to be married, but you acting like a girlfriend. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
hold on.
Hold on. All right, and what about you, bro?
I would say for me, a thing that I not struggle with, but I feel like interfere would be the women I've dealt with previously, not focusing on what's in front of them. As in, if I don't have a 3-story house, we got an apartment, start thinking I gotta have a 3-story house tomorrow. Be thankful that we got this apartment right now. You know, like they go to Paris, we don't have to go to Paris yet. It's okay. And I feel like people I've dealt with always look what's on Instagram. Oh, he did this for her, he did that for her, but like it's us right here.
Yes.
You know, like,
Stop comparing. That comparing stuff is ridiculous.
For sure.
Some of our famous people that we admire are divorced right now in their relationship, and so.
And I admire in other people's relationship, like you said, like if you see somebody going to Paris, that don't mean we gotta go.
Yeah.
At the same time, like let it.
You don't know their story. You don't know what they do, what they got going on.
For sure.
What he or she did to one another. That stuff on Instagram don't mean nothing.
Yeah, for sure. And I think we all are pretty much saying the same thing, but like expressing it in our own ways and being clear specifically what resonates with us the most. So yeah, I appreciate y'all for doing this first half.
Yes.
We have like another half about like business and different things like that. So if everybody could drop their Instagram and let people know where they can find you.
Y'all can find my Instagram. Just follow my brand, Wise Label.
So, again, my name is Jariah, and I am the creator of the Highlight Reel podcast, and you can find it at the Highlight Reel, REAL _ on Instagram.
My name is Avion, and you can find me at Who Is Avion. That's my personal. And then business is Lazanay Media, LAZANAY Media. 'Cause I know that's gonna be hard for y'all.
My name is Jaden, and I actually like to say first name and last name, Jaden Lattimore. That's what I go by. And you can find me on Instagram at DJLat, as in THEJLAT.
And I'm Jada Ellis. My personal Instagram is at I am Jada Ellis, and my fashion brand is at Jael Official, JAELL Official.
Go by G Said, and you can follow me on Instagram at ogvato0g.vat0.
It's funny.
Wait, slow it down. One more time.
It's like, write it down.
OG what?
Just rewind.
OG Vato?
It'll be on the screen.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah, that's
All right,
all.
let's go. Keon Edwards is Keylock on all platforms. I run the biggest insurance brokerage out of all the insurances. So.
Sure. You can follow me at Royal Tre'Vion, ROYLTREVION. And that thumbnail that you see on the screen, that's made by Royalty Made It. So if you want to work with us, tap in. You feel me? Big creative agency. So we appreciate y'all for tuning in. Let us know, what you can resonate with the most and what really you are looking for in relationships, what you're trying to figure out in your 20s and different things like that. You can follow Growing Painz Pod. And yeah, we'll see y'all later. We appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.